All right. Everybody hear me out there? Hello. Okay. Okay. This is Ed. We're doing our live, trying to simulcast a TikTok live. It's just getting up on TikTok, so we'll see what's going on there. Um, can someone give me a thumbs up or something that you can hear me? Looks like I might be good here. All right. So thumbs up. All right, Ms. Camp, appreciate it. Okay, let's come on with the questions. I'm working. I just uploaded the my spouse video. I've done some surviving spouse videos last year. I kind of took all that information and consolidated it into two surviving spouse videos, and that was uploaded last week. I've taken a bunch of information and put it in a spouse video. I just uploaded that, what came out today. And then I'm doing the second part on that, and that editing that now takes crazy amount of time to edit. But anyway, um, so that should be up. I'll probably break it up tomorrow, the next day, and then I'm getting on to the disability. That'll be 4 or 5 or 6 video series on all things disability, getting approved, applying, what happens afterwards, do you get Medicare, CDRs, and all that kind of stuff. And then I'll do one on retirement. That'll be probably about a 4 or 5 or 6 video series. And then I'll do one on Medicare and Medicare supplements and A, B, C, D, and all that other kind of stuff. So that'll be 3 or 4 or 5 there. And yeah, so we're rolling along here. So if you have any questions on all things Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, the meaning of life, anything, whatever you got. I'm jumping in here a tad bit early since had a lot of questions last time, and we'll see what's going on. All right, first one. I was recently approved for SSDI, so Social Security Disability Insurance, and I received a letter that I'm eligible for Medicare. Can I expect Medicare soon? Yeah. So you were recently approved, and you have Medicare. So that means you've been waiting 2 years plus, because Medicare starts when you're on disability for 24 months. So the 25th month, you can start your Medicare. So that means you probably, you did the initial claim and then you were denied, and probably did the reconsideration and were denied. And you finally approved probably after the administrative law judge, it sounds like. But yeah, so if once you're on disability for 2 years, even if you were approved yesterday, but they approved you and they made your onset date 2 years or more in the past, that means essentially you've had Medicare for 2 years. And they usually sign you up for Part A, and then Part B, because there's a premium, $170 plus. That'll be coming out of your Social Security check, but Medicare will send you the package. Medicare and you book, and they'll send you the card, the A and the B. But now it's time for you to pick a plan. So Medicare supplement plan, Medicare Advantage plan. It depends on your state. As you watched, if you watched any of my videos, you know that I always recommend Medicare supplement plans. But it depends on your state. Some states don't require insurance companies to give Medicare supplement plans to people under 65. And if they do mandate it, some states don't regulate how much they can charge. So, someone 65 can get a Medicare supplement plan for, let's say, $100, But if you're under 65 in the exact same state right next door to that person, it might cost you, two, three, four, or $500. But once you turn 65, you've got you've got that redo where even if you're paying, two or three, $400 when you're 63, 64, as soon as you hit 65, then you shop for a new plan, and then yeah, you'll be able to save your price, your budget. And same type of thing. So if the only thing you're able to get right now is a Medicare Advantage plan, those are zero premium. There's advantages and disadvantages to those. Um, so if that's the only thing you're able to get, again, when you turn 65, you're in that special window to where you can get out of a Medicare Advantage, get into a Medicare supplement plan without any health underwriting, without any health questions at all. So that's a beautiful thing. So if you want to help finding a plan for your particular area, give my Medicare team a call. Let me go ahead and my Medicare team. 888-817-0446. Yeah, so just give them a call. They don't pick up, just leave a message with your phone number and state, and they'll give you a call back, and they will get you all set up. Yeah, from my personal opinion, which means nothing, but yeah, waiting 24 months for your Medicare, when you're on disability, people on disability, kind of need health coverage. So yeah, if I was dictator for a day, then that's one of the first things I would change, right after the cure to male pattern baldness. But hey, what are you going to do? So, all right. So yes, it was 3-year wait, approved at hearing February 1st, Medicare eligible effective March 1st. Okay, perfect. Yeah, yeah. So give my team a call and they'll go and they'll check if you're doing a Medicare Advantage. Then two things you have to watch out for is because the networks, that's one of the problems Medicare Advantage, and doctors. And so my team will ask you about all your doctors, and they'll find the plan that covers as many doctors as possible, and they'll ask you all your prescriptions, and they'll find a plan that covers most of your prescription, as many or all of your prescriptions at the best price. So there's that. Hey, Sweet Bug, welcome. How y'all doing today? Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right. So let's see what other kind of good questions we have out there. I'm looking at some of the comments. Thank you for your service. I appreciate it. Old Marine Corps Sergeant. Your crystal ball on what will be done to make Social Security more solvent. Yeah, I was going to do a video on that. There's a bunch of little things that, I completely disagree with the whole, changing it to 67, to changing the full retirement age from 67 to, 70 or something like that is, as I mentioned, some of my, someone like, me that, has a, sit down job, maybe. But my father was a long distance truck driver, drove an 18-wheeler, and my mother was a waitress in a breakfast diner. Yeah, they can't hold out past 60s. Can't wait till 68, 69, 70 to collect their benefits. So yeah, so just raising the cap just like is on Medicare. That's definitely I think yeah. There's actually, I'm going to do a video on that. The 5 top proposals to shore up Social Security. I'll probably do a video on that this week or so. Susan, question: assuming me and my ex are full retirement age, if my PIA is more than 50% of his, mine is better. What happens if he dies and his PIA is more than mine? Can I switch to file on his benefits? Yeah, if sounds like yeah. So yours is more than half of his, so you wouldn't be able to collect spouse benefits. So let's say let's say his is, make it easy, $1,000. And again, I did the spouse video. I just uploaded that today. So it talks about this. Probably on the spouse video I did. I've got another one about working and when your benefits stop. I'll probably do a third one in the future on real life examples. Like your example there. It's easier to understand that way because the whole thing is kind of complicated. Anyway, so let's say his is $1,000, his full benefit amount, his PIA, what he would get as full retirement age, and let's say yours is $600. So you're not going to be able to collect anything on his right now. Okay. So he files a claim for 1,000, you file a claim for your $600, and that's it. You're done. If something should happen to him, then because you're past your full retirement age, you will have to file a surviving claim on his record, and that'll get you another $400. Right? What a lot of social media TikTokers and YouTubers out there, so-called Social Security experts, get wrong is that they tell people that the spouse does not get the delayed retirement credit. So if his full benefit amount is 1,000, and then he waits for a year or whatever, and it jumps up to 1,400, you're not going to get half of 1,400. So you won't get the delayed retirement credits. However, like my hands there. Anyway, when he passes, which inevitably we all will, then you do get the delayed retirement credits. So, Social Security, there's exceptions to exceptions to exceptions. So that's why my videos are so long, and I go off on tangents sometimes. So there's that. All right. So yeah, and if so, you will actually have to file a claim on him. I just have to throw this out there. If he passes, and let's say you or anybody watching were also married to another person for 10 years or longer, when you go into Social Security, make sure you tell them that yeah, just my spouse just passed away. I want to file for surviving benefits on his record. They should ask you, were you ever married before? And you say, oh yeah, I was married, in the 20s and 30s, and that's it. I was married to that person for 10 years or longer. And they'll look at that record and they'll say, wow, that guy went on to, be a multimillionaire, and he, tons of money. Let's file for benefits on that record. So they'll look for the higher benefit. So I actually had one person, I've done tens of thousands of claims, survivor claims, and everybody, 99.9, I only had one that said, no, even though my recent husband was less, I don't want to file on my first one because I just don't want anything from him, and I want to be connected to my my husband that just died. But everybody else always give me the most money. So. All right, P. Brown, my ex of 17 years passed away at 56, and he was on disability. Can I claim Social Security when I reach 60? Absolutely. If so, what will be the amount? Basically, Social Security assumes that he would wait until his full retirement age, which, because he was on disability, didn't have to wait, because he was receiving, as someone on disability. When you're on disability, your benefit amount is how much you would receive if you waited till your full retirement age. So yeah, so whatever his benefit was, then that's how much you will receive. That's how much they will base how much you receive. Because remember, if you file early, did you say you were assuming 56 years under, can I claim? Yeah, so you didn't. Okay, yeah, you said 60. I'm sorry. So you said 60, so it'll be reduced. Anytime, pretty much every time, anytime you file early for Social Security benefits, it's reduced. But it's reduced based on his, his benefit, and unless he has, DRCs. So, and the easiest way to do that, rather than, there's a lot of videos out there that teach you how to do the calculations and the long division and all that, and there's a bunch of companies out there that will also, do the calculations for you. But yeah, I've there's so many people that have paid some company to run the calculations to see how much they'll get, and then when they come into the when they came into the office when I worked at Social Security, then they'd show me the numbers, and I said, oh, that's interesting, and I run it through the system, and I say, well, that's inaccurate. You paid $200 to get the calculations, and it's incorrect. So they'd go back and we'd show them the numbers, and they'd go back and people would say, oh yeah, okay, yeah, we forgot to carry the one or something like that. So the best thing to do is just call Social Security and say, hey, I want to file a claim at 60. How much can I get? All right. So, and then they'll tell you, and then you, if you're kind of still deciding, then you say, hey, okay, how much if I wait for a year? How much if I wait for 2 years? And it's super, super easy. They just change that date to next year, add a year, and tell you what the numbers are. And then you can make the decision at that time. Say, oh, okay, well, yeah, I'll wait for a year. You know, but remember, you can collect survivor benefits, just survivor benefits, or yeah, just survivor benefits on that person while you're waiting for your retirement benefits on your own to increase. So, you know, collect survivor benefits from 60 to 61 to 62, and then check how much your benefits are, and then you can switch. And, yeah. So, and the, yeah, the video I just uploaded today, it has 4 different strategies, claiming strategies to maximize your Social Security. So remember to watch that one, and remember to like and subscribe. I'm sure everybody's here is subscribed to my channel and all that kind of good stuff. And if you want to buy me a coffee refill, I appreciate it. My hippie Volkswagen bus coffee mug. As you can tell, I'm a hippie. Anyway, let's see what else here. Savannah, did you say on another video that we could ask for a check to be deposited on a different day or date? Yes. I'm on SSDI getting mine on the 3rd Wednesday, usually a 5-week wait in between. Yes. So it's they're very stingy about approving those for some reason. So yeah, you'll have to go into the local office and make your case and say, hey, because of my rent, because of this, that, and the other, I need to change my date. And the local office can't approve it. I don't know why, for whatever reason. They have to send it to the regional processing center, the PC, and they have to approve it. Yeah, I don't know why. It's, I, I guess they figure, everybody, because, they have to notify Department of Treasury and all those. Yeah, but it's, come on, it's computers. So yeah. Make the case, tell them why you need it, the 2nd week or the 3rd week or whenever. Thanks. Follow up. If X never claimed and dies at 69, for example, will the full amount include the DRCs? Yeah, basically, because he was accumulating DRCs, delayed retirement credits. So essentially, yeah, they will include because he was waiting, pretty much until the month he passed away. So yep, it's a beautiful thing. Not that he passed away, but extra money. Sweet Bug. In 2005, my husband filed for Social Security. He was a veteran 100%, but was also told at the time he did not qualify for Social Security. I guess because he was receiving VA pay. Was that the case? Yeah, no, they were completely separate entities. He was a veteran 100%. So probably 100, we're talking probably 100% disabled. So he was receiving disability benefits from the VA. No, you can also collect Social Security. Those are completely separate entities. So, I had people in my office that I ran that were receiving, VA disability, 10, 20, 30, 40% or so, and still working. Social Security defines disability as inability to work. VA has different, categories. So people always, kind of say, hey, the VA said I was disabled. How come Social Security doesn't? Well, different categories, disabled, and still able to work. Social Security is completely, disability is the inability to work. So yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, that does. The only way that he wouldn't be entitled to Social Security disability is if they said he was able to work. Yeah, or he wasn't insured. He worked. He was in the military, and was only in. Some people are only in for a year or so, or something like that. So yeah. Sorry, my cat is playing with the curtains behind me. All right, Susan, one last question. What is the max monthly amount anybody can get from SSA? Is there a max, like millionaires, etc.? God, what is the max this year? I mean, with DRCs, you're looking probably like 4,000 or so. It changes every year. Wonder if I got, yeah, the average is about 1,900. I've adjudicated claims that I think the highest I've given was about 39, close to 4,000. That's with DRCs and everything. So yeah, close to 4 grand. It's probably over now. It's probably like 41, 4,200. I have to write that down, Max. Someone can get. Oh, somebody put it down. 4,873. Yeah, that's okay. That must be, it was 70 DRCs and paying the max into Social Security for 35 years. Yeah. So, yep, there you go. Oh yeah, because of that 8% increase last year. Because I retired was a year and a half ago now, and that was before the big 8%. So yeah, yep, yeah, damn, thank you, appreciate it. All right, all right, Sweet Bug. He never appealed that and let it go. He could not work. Yeah, he passed now. Yeah, yeah, that's too bad. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I'm doing all these crazy videos and um, why my videos are so bad in terms of production values and editing and backdrop and all that kind of stuff is like I'll make them all pretty later. I'm just pumping them out now, you know low quality in terms of Hollywood, Marvel movies. But yeah, it's the information is the most important right now. There's just so many YouTube and TikTokers out there giving out incorrect information. So every time I hear more incorrect information, I make a little short or add a little video or something, but there's just so much I can't keep up with it. So yeah, so sorry for the quality of my videos and my cat messing with the curtains behind us. But it was a homeless cat. So what are you gonna do? Picked up on the side of the road. All right, doing a great job. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. I'm also trying. I've got TikTok live going on here too. This is the first time I've done TikTok live, so I've been focusing on YouTube. So I figured I better add TikTok, and no questions up there from TikTok yet. So there's that. Savannah, the videos are fine. I'm a crazy cat lady too. Yeah, this is the first cat I've ever had in my entire life. I've always had dogs, but my wife, yeah, got to get a cat. So, all right, let's see what else we got here. Going through some of the questions. I get tons of comments in the videos themselves. So let's see here. All right, we got one here. I just turned 62 years old and was on SSI. So SSI is a lot of people, they tell me they're on SSI getting $1,800. And I say, well, that's SSDI. So SSI is Supplemental Security Income. That's the welfare-based, needs-based program that the Social Security administers. So basically, how SSI started is in the early 1970s. They had different kind of welfare systems throughout the country, and they were all a little bit different. So the federal government decided to go in there and take over a lot of those particular ones, and then that's where SSI came in. Um, and yeah, a lot of the people that were there, they hired tons of people in the early 1970s to take over SSI, and a lot of those people have just recently retired. That's another reason why the Social Security is so backlogged, and you can't get in, and all the rest of kind of stuff. So that's why I'm here. All right, so and retired with no choice. Yeah, that's one of the things that I get contacts on a lot is people are on SSI And because it's a welfare, a needs-based program, when they if there's any money out there that they have access to, they have to take it. So the government says, "Hey, we're giving you, this financial assistance out of the welfare coffers, and but you have money over here waiting. You just have to go apply for it." And they say, "You have to apply for it because if you don't, then we're going to stop the financial assistance because you do have money." So basically, what happens is when people turn 62 years old and they're on SSI, they have to file for retirement because that money is available. And I get calls all the time that say, "But I didn't want to file at 62. I wanted to, file at my full retirement age so I get more money and stuff." So it's yeah, it's I can understand the reasoning that we're giving you money, you have money available, um, so you should go get that money. But if you go get the money at 62, it's reduced by 30%. So you're only getting 70% what you could have for the rest of your life. So sure, it helps, I guess, the welfare trust funds or the welfare budget now, but those people are, they're going to be, hurting forever now. And then once the inflation and everything goes up, and colas always seem to be 2% lower than what they should be, um, then that person is probably gonna have to need more welfare later. So yeah, it's I don't know. What happens if you lose your insurance before eligible for Medicare? Will you be penalized? All right. So I'm assuming that before you're eligible. Yeah, no, no, no. Okay, so if I'm reading this right, you have health insurance from work or wherever, and you lose that insurance before you're eligible for Medicare. So no, you won't be penalized at all. Well, it depends on your particular state. With the Affordable Care Act, Marketplace, Obamacare, whatever. Some particular, there was, the Supreme Court overthrew the mandate of that. So, but some states say no. There's a state mandate that you have health insurance, just like you have car insurance. So that's a whole separate issue, but you won't get penalized by Medicare because you're not eligible for Medicare yet. Once you're eligible for Medicare, then you have to apply for Medicare. And if you don't at that time, you don't have other health insurance, then yeah, you will be penalized 10% for every 12 months you don't have Medicare. You'll be penalized on the Part B and on the Part D, the drug plan. But if you have credible coverage from work or something like that, then you don't have to enroll. And remember, if you're getting ready, eligible for Medicare, make sure you call my Medicare team, 888-817-0446, and they will take care of you. I put together a Medicare team because, yeah, just I'm busy doing all these videos, and there's so many people out there that are signing people up for Medicare and they're not doing it correctly. So trying to fix as many issues as I can out there. All right. TikTok is a Chinese app, sir. They're able to get into your app's phone contacts. Yeah, yeah. It's actually a Singaporean. Yeah, that Singapore. But anyway, yeah. Susan, I was a tax preparer for 13 years. It was always an interesting conversation with self-employed folks who always had losses, no self-employment tax paid. Would be a good topic of discussion. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get that a lot. They, play around with their taxes and they take all the write-offs. And I've seen this, tens of thousands of times. That I did one on that. It was like my second or third video I did when I started this journey a year and a few months ago. I think it was like my second or third video, and it's terrible. Please don't watch it. The video is terrible and everything is terrible. But anyway, but yeah, I talked about that. It's basically, yeah, people, throughout their lives, try to avoid taxes, which, we kind of all, don't want to pay any more than we have to. But when they're self-employed, they're able to manipulate that a little bit more. Is that a bad word, manipulate? But anyway, and then they, think they're cool. And then 10, 20, 30, 40 years later, they come into the Social Security office and they sit down and, before they would sit down in front of me and they say $200 a month. That's all I get. All I'm going to get as well. You never worked. Well, I worked all my life. Well, you didn't pay, and all the money they made in self-employment. They blew on fancy cars and trips and stuff like that, and now they've got nothing. Yeah, for retirement. Yeah, and one of the other the only one of the other bad things about all that is when a husband and wife um, owns the business, and the tax preparer. I know you didn't do this, but the tax preparer puts all of the self-employment tax, all the FICA stuff on, let's say the husband, only on one person, and then later they get divorced, and this person pretty has nothing, and if they're younger, then yeah, it's a bad situation. So watch. I'm gonna have to redo that video and yeah, make it better. So yeah, thanks for the recommendation. Appreciate it. P. Brown, if I claim at 60 on my deceased husband's disability, would it be reduced by 72? Yeah, any time that, so if he was receiving disability, so that wouldn't trigger um, my deceased husband's disability. Yeah, so that wouldn't trigger, he wouldn't be considered to have taken it early. So you're talking about the widow's cap or the widower's cap. Um, so yeah, the whole, if I claim 60, so you would receive basically the 60, the reduction. I've got let me see here. So it's the what 71 and a basically 71.5%, but it would be of his PIA. So the widow's cap comes into effect basically what you receive on, what was he receiving. So the best way, as I mentioned on all my, rather than doing the long division yourself, is just to call Social Security. So it looks like you're coming up there soon. Call Social Security and have them run the numbers, and that way you can make an informed decision. Because again, I've seen people, a lot of people, run the numbers, and then they think that person was on disability, and it turns out, yeah, they were on disability, but then they switched to retirement at 62, so they wouldn't have, the work restrictions, and that would trigger the widow's cap, which is good because rather than the 71.5, you would get the 82.5. So yeah, there's just too many variables in there. So I'd hate to, um, pull out my calculator, take off my socks, and count my toes for you. So, and again, as I mentioned in all my videos, call Social Security, run the numbers, and you're not committed. Just because you've talked to someone, as I always say, okay, well, thank you for the information. I'll think about it. And Social Security employees love to hear that because that means they don't have to take your case back to their desk and work on it and adjudicate it. Now they can just say, oh, okay, well, all right. Now I can go, eat a Snickers bar for 5 minutes. So let's see. Ed, went to a Social Security office today. I'm working on my own Social Security. They told me half of my exes would be less than I'm getting. Oh well, told me and I'd have to pay $100 for work pass printout, which only names employers. Yeah, God, I wish. Yeah, I've done a few videos on that, or inside of other videos. Yeah, you just talked to a new employee. So what it is, so when you're going in there to to check to make sure your earnings record is correct, the problem is that in your area, they probably have like Metropolitan Police Department or something like that. They do background checks on people applying, for jobs. So that's not Social Security's, that's not the mission of Social Security is to help people do background checks. So they charge for that. So like a 10 years, like over $100, things quite a bit over $100 for a couple of pages. So that's a nice little profit. And so when you go in there and say, I want a work history, if the employee is new or not thinking or close to lunch, then they'll say, oh, okay, it'll be, 100 something dollars or whatever. But what you do is you say, no, 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 it's free because this is program related. Use those words. This is program related. And if the person doesn't, you know, recognize what you just said, then that person doesn't know what they're doing. So you say, um, you know, can I speak to your operations supervisor? And says, I need a work history. It's program related. I want to make sure I get the correct amount. And they'll say, okay, yeah, just go and print them off the work history. So yeah, yeah, that's now you got to go down there again. Anyway, so sorry about that. Debbie, are the rules the same for a person collecting on an ex-deceased spouse who was disability social security as opposed to an ex-deceased spouse? Just click. Yeah, it's a yep. As a person collecting an ex-deceased spouse, so as opposed to an ex-deceased, so just click on it. Not if the regular person, if the non-disabled collected at their full retirement age, then no difference whatsoever. So people that are on disability are receiving their benefits at their full retirement age, their full PIA. So that's what spouse benefits are, based on. Is you'll get basically what that person was receiving, unless the widow's cap thing pops up there, and you know, if you retire early. So yeah, so if that person was receiving, $1,000 and you start collecting it, if that person was receiving $1,000, whether it was retirement or disability, and you collect it at, your full retirement age, you'll essentially get the $1,000, right? Unless the widow's cap is if that person actually collected it at like 62 or 63, and then it's 71.5% or so of their PIA, and Congress said, yeah, that's not enough to live on, so they jump it up, and that's where the whole widow's cap thing comes up. So, and again, so the easiest way to do it, rather than just call up Social Security, set up an appointment, and you don't have to. They're not going to force you. Hey, I just ran the numbers for you. Buy my car. Buy this claim. You just say, yep, yep. What do you think about the computer programs that tell you the best filing strategies? They don't know your personal situation. They can run the numbers, and they give you nice little cool graphs. And I'm sure you had to maybe pay for it, or you've had to, give your, email address so they can, send you emails for the rest of your life and try to sell you something. Um, they're okay. I've been thinking about making one of those in the future. You know, getting someone. I've seen somewhere that are pretty cool, but they're expensive, and you know, maybe in the future, if I find a programmer that's willing to work for free, we'll have them program it, and then we'll just throw it out there for free for everybody. So what I mean by they don't know what your situation is, they can tell you, oh yeah, you should file it, 67 years old. And your response is, well, I need the money now. Well, there you go. That was a waste of time to run the numbers. So yeah, when I did a video on that, so nobody knows better than you do. If you can wait, then wait. Um, but if your spouse benefits and your other spouse, their higher earning spouse, is waiting, you know, definitely I think you should get your own benefits. Again, not taking into consideration, taxes and all that other kind of stuff. Nice shirt. Yeah, I appreciate that. There is a matter of the first point. The entire industry is alienating everyone. Okay, I'm not sure what that was. Let's see. After 57, can a person draw another veteran's check in Social Security and the spouse passes and keep the first spouse paid from the VA and the widows if she married? Oh, those are all kinds of, yeah, the VA things. Even though I'm a veteran, I don't have a whole lot of experience other than, home loans and, you know, the terrible educational system I was in when I was in the Marine Corps, in terms of, didn't have the GI Bill and stuff when I was around. But yeah, that's, yeah. Can a person, yeah, I don't know about another person's veterans check, so I couldn't help you with that one. So let's see here. I'm collecting at 61, still working. So survivor benefits. Have health insurance with my large grocery store chain. Should I drop Part B? Can I get it back later without being penalized? So you're 60, I'm collecting at 60. You're 61 years old and you have Part B. So that means you're receiving disability benefits. Or you started collecting at 61. So yeah, if you're collecting at 61, and that means you have, um, yeah, so that means because you have Medicare, that means you're on disability and you're working. So make sure you don't work and make too much and all that kind of good stuff. Trial work periods and extended periods of eligibility. But to kind of answer your question, yeah, if you have, yeah, there's no use in paying for Part B if you don't need it. So if you have health insurance from work that's credible and your employer is 20 or more employees, then yeah, you don't need to pay for Part B. But sometimes those companies, if you're eligible for Medicare, they make you sign up for Medicare because it's all these insurance companies. They're good at running the numbers. They have you know MIT mathematicians. Running these numbers so they make as much profit as possible. And one of the numbers they do is, we'll force people to take Part B to move some of the costs of the company health insurance over to the government. So there's that. All right, let's see here. Can you only receive from your ex-spouse's pension after he is deceased, even though you were married 32 years and you haven't remarried? Can you only receive from ex? So pension, I'm assuming you mean Social Security, not a private pension. So you were married, yeah, as long as you were married 10 years or longer, or you were married to him when he passed. Oh, he's an ex-spouse. So can you only, yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what other else you're looking to collect from. So, oh, okay. She meant to put she's 71 years old, not 61, or he or she. So, yeah. If you're 71 years old, then you've got Medicare. But if you have health insurance from work and you're happy with it, and it doesn't cost you an arm and a leg, and it covers everything, um, then yeah, the work issue is not a issue because you're after full retirement age. You can work as much as you want. Yeah, if I would call your HR and say, hey, I'm receiving Part B, because again, some of those places, are secondary payer and primary payer, first payer, and stuff like that. So if you stop it, your insurance company says, okay, yeah, you can stop it, but we're not going to cover this, that, and the other because we were sending the bills to Medicare. So I'd be very, very careful on doing that. Let's see here. Vivian, I'm a divorced widow collecting on my deceased ex-husband and found out there are 17 years of earnings history. Wow. Wow. Yeah. So was he self-employed or something like that? So yeah, you would that's the tough thing. As I always say, if to confirm you're getting the right amount, you have to check your earnings record. That is the most important thing. But the problem with, getting spouse or ex-spouse benefits, deceased, ex-spouse benefits is, unless you were really close to that person, how can you confirm his earnings record? And then more importantly, more difficult is, okay, he's got 17 empty years there. How do you prove it? You got to go to the IRS and show that you need that. And but if the person was self-employed, as we were talking about the question earlier, yeah, the person was self-employed, then a lot of self-employed people, even though they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, they play the system so they don't have to pay income taxes or self-employment FICA taxes. So yeah, that's a IRS said that they have the transcripts. Oh, okay, cool, awesome, yes. So yeah, grab them, take them down in Social Security. Social Security has all kinds of archaic, strange rules about correcting records. They have a statute of limitations. It's like 3 years, 3 months, and 3 days. And but yeah, it's there's just tons of exceptions in there. So if you go down there and they say that yeah, no, it's too late to change it or whatever the case may be, then say, okay, well, thank you for your your opinion, but I'd like a formal decision on that. And so you submit the records, and you give them your justification why, you just found out about it, or you were just had it, you didn't know you could get the records, and you submit it. And if they come back and say, oh, you're too late, then you file a reconsideration, quick little form. And yeah, it's a nightmare, and you got to go through a bunch of hoops. But 17 years, yeah, that's and if they approve you, then they will go all the way back. So if you've been in receiving benefits for 10 years and you find out there's that big of a mistake, then and if they accept it, and if they add those 17 years in there, then they will correct your benefit amount going all the way back 10 years. It just won't be effective, this month. They'll have to go back there and correct all of your checks that you were short. So it's worth the BS and the bureaucracy. Yeah. If you can get it done, then it's a beautiful thing. Ed, I'm 71, working for a large company, also have Part B. Should you cancel B? When I ever quit, I can pick. Yeah, it's Social Security, Medicare can't penalize you if you have health insurance, credible health insurance from work. So yeah, you can get it back. And once you stop working and stop receiving health insurance from work, then you have 8 months from that time to apply to reapply, I guess in your case, for Part B. And whether you should cancel it, yeah, that's it's a decision you'll have to make, after you talk to your company's health insurance, and what it covers and what it doesn't, and first payer and second payer and all that kind of stuff. So IRS said they have transcripts. How do I get them? They need the executor to get. Yeah, I can't help you on the IRS. I always say I've been trying to cancel my subscription to the IRS for decades. But yeah, Freedom of Information Act, FOIA requests on the IRS website. There's, because the person is deceased. Once they're deceased, it depends on the particular agencies. Sometimes, they'll say, well, it's it's public record. It's like Social Security used to have. You could the Social Security index, where you could go online and see anybody. You type in their name and it has their Social Security number. As long as they were deceased for X amount of years and stuff. So the IRS is obviously a little bit different. So. All right. All right, let's see here. Tactical Manatee's back. Hey, what's up? My SSDI case was approved in December 2023, but the date my disability started is August 20. When can I expect review of my eligibility? Yeah, so CDR and stuff like that. Yeah, it really depends. Call Social Security and find out when, what cycle they put you on. Every year, or every 3 years, or 7 years, or something. So it's all different. The adjudicator that adjudicated, that approved your claim, they're the ones that looked at your medical records and say, this medical improvement expected, the MIE. And so they're the ones that give the number, and everybody's, different. So Vivian, thank you. You're welcome. Buy me a beer or coffee or something down there. I appreciate it. Every little bit helps. All right. Bobby's girl. I'm 62, retired early. My husband passed, and I don't nearly what he got. If my daughter moves in with me, will my SSI get lowered? Okay. So yeah, you're 62. So if you're on SSI, that's the needs-based program. So you're supposed to file for anything else that you receive. So if you're already 62 and you're not, so some people are getting SSI and regular retirement too. The 900 and some change is the max you can get on SSI this year. So let's say it's $900 to make it easy. Um, and you can also file for retirement, and you're eligible for retirement if you paid into the system. Let's say you're eligible for retirement, and your retirement on your own benefits is, let's say, $300. So basically, what they do is they say, okay, you've been receiving $900 from SSI. Now you're eligible for retirement on your own. There's $300 you need to get. So go file for it. And so you go file for your $300. You don't get an extra $300 on top of the nine for 1,200, right? What they do is they take that $300 out of your SSI check, is kind of sort of, replace it. So you get the $300 plus another $600 from SSI. I think there's like a $20 kind of thing in there, kind of a gray area that, yeah, they don't count. But anyway, so there's that. So yeah, and if you're on SSI, then stuff like that, if you're paying your own rent and now you've got someone moving in with you, that's paying part of the rent and part of the electricity and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, SSI is definitely interested in all that, and you should report it, and tell them, honestly, because eventually, they probably find out, and then have a big overpayment and all that kind of stuff. So, Deb, join my membership. I appreciate it. You're awesome. But yeah, it's just call Social Security and say, hey, I'm receiving SSI. Again, if it is SSI, and say my daughter's moved in with me, but she's moving, she is paying, help me pay the rent, and she's not helping pay the rent, and she is helping me pay the rent, but it's a loan I have to pay back later, and so there's just tons of variables there. All right, what else we got here? Any other? All right, Ed, why does some states' SSI amounts are different in every state? New Jersey state SSI amount is different. Something like 16. Wow, SSI is $1,600 a month. Yeah, that's um I'll tell you a story. Yeah, it's they do an SSI supplement. The so you get, again, the max is 900 doesn't change for SSI, but some states say that that's not enough to live in our state. I know California has one. You're saying that New Jersey has one. So it's not SSI giving you more money. It's the state giving you more money. So it's completely different from SSI. And I'll tell you a story that personally involved me. Is we had this guy come in, and he moved to our state out of California, and in California he was receiving the supplement. It was like an extra $200 or $400. So he moved to our state that doesn't have the supplement, and we, said, okay, well, we didn't do anything. The state of California stopped paying him, and he got very, very angry, and he said we were discriminated against him. He was being racist, and I talked to him. I said, well, we're not being racist or discriminated. And it has nothing to do with us. The state of California was giving you money. You moved out of California, they stopped giving you money. And yeah, he eventually went ballistic, and he went down to the federal building and unfortunately shot some federal police guards down there. Yeah, it was many, many, many years ago. You probably saw it on TV, but yeah, he was not mentally there. Jackie, what can you tell me about survivor's benefits? I started collecting my own Social Security at 62. Can I switch to survivor benefits at 67 and collect my husband's Social Security? Oh gosh, so there's 3 different variables in there. Watching my video I just did on survivor benefits, I updated or I put it up there about a week or so ago, and then watch my video because it still have a current husband. So yeah, if you're So you started collecting your own at 62. Okay, cool. And okay, I think I answered. I think I get the question now. Okay, so you started collecting your own benefits at 62, and then you're going to get that. And yeah, you can switch to your survivor benefits anytime you want. So if you're collecting $1,000 now, and survivor benefits will get you 1,020, you can collect now. But the benefits will keep going up on the survivor benefits until you reach the full retirement age. After that, they won't go up anymore. You don't get delayed retirement credits on from survivors, your own. You get it from, if they have delayed retirement credits on their record, you can get it. But you can't wait until you're 70 years old and expect delayed retirement credits to be attached to that. So I need to move my hands a little bit more to explain. That's a difficult. Anyway. So yeah. Again, call up Social Security and say, okay, how much if I switch over to the survivor benefits right now, how much is it going to be? And if it's going to be, 10, 20, 30, $100 more, you make the decision at that time and say, no, let me, yeah, let's go ahead and do it now. Or let's wait a year. If I wait a year, it's going to be increased a few dollars every month and don't necessarily need the money now. Let's wait for a year and, keep waiting until your full retirement age, and then definitely switch over at your full retirement age because, it's not going to increase any more than that. So. Silent Grace. My husband is 77. He took his Social Security at 66, his full retirement age. If I take mine at 67, is it 50% of what he made? Yep. 13 years ago. We have been married 40 years. I don't have 40 credits. Yeah. So if you don't have 40 credits, then yeah, you'll receive, he took his at full retirement age, and you will take yours at full retirement age. Yeah. So you'll receive 50% of his. And doesn't sound like you will receive anything of yours because you don't have the 40 quarters of coverage, which it is what it is. So yeah. Again, if you need some people say, yeah, get the extra. It's reduced a little bit. Yeah. So and then survivor benefits, you taking spousal benefits early won't affect spousal, inevitable spouse's benefits. If you take it at 66 and your full retirement age is 67, you could start collecting, your spousal benefits now. It's reduced a little bit, but if he passes away after you turn 67, then it's, you'll get whatever he was receiving because he filed it for retirement age. Why doesn't Social Security make all this easier so I can go back to retirement? So, what it is. It is what it is. All right. So, any other recommendations on videos I should be doing in the future? Like I said, I'm finishing up the spouse one. I'm doing a super long one on disability coming up. I'm doing one on Medicare, and then I'm doing little smaller ones. Like the one about top ideas to save Social Security with my. I always. That's one thing about I'm in retirement. This is. I'm not a professional YouTuber by any chance, chance of the imagination. So people say, well, why don't you get to, because if I'm not having fun making the videos, I'm not going to make them. So I have to entertain myself. And so that's why I go off on tangents sometimes, talk about stuff I want to talk about. So TIZ, what's your opinion on Social Security to stop taxing Social Security in 2025? Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of YouTubers and TikTokers out there that take proposals, from some little minor House of Representative politician somewhere in the country that comes up with some idea, and they'll jump on it, make a video, and get you all excited, and it's just clickbait. So that one, I certainly wish it would take effect, not for high wage earners. It's kind of like the Medicare Part B IRMA thing where they charge more for Medicare, for high wage earners, which I agree with. Yeah, for low wage earners, I mean, 50% of people don't pay Social Security tax on what they receive from Social Security anyway. I think it should go up, but not 100%. We got to do something. And then, since the 1970s, one of the problems with Social Security is the the money available to be taxed in Social Security has slowly declined since the 1970s. What do I mean by that? Well, you and your parents or something, when they worked in the 70s and 80s and stuff, they made some okay money, and that was taxed into Social Security, and that's where we got the trust fund from. But now you've got, the top 1 in 10% are taking all of that money, and the rest are, barely enough to survive. So that's the only money available to pay into FICA taxes, because the rich, after, what is it this year, $168,000, they don't pay into Social Security anymore. So much of that money that used to go into Social Security and Medicare, well, Medicare is different because everybody's taxed completely on that one. But in terms of Social Security, so much, billions of those dollars are no longer paying into Social Security because, so yeah. Barbara, can I get disability if I am a Medicare and Medicaid, but might lose it in this coming because making too much? Let's see here. Can you get disability if you're on Medicare? So if you're on Medicare, so that means you're past your 65th birthday. So once people reach their full retirement age, there's no more disability. So yeah, I get calls all the time, says, I'm 70 years old and I'm disabled. I've been receiving Social Security retirement for years, but I, want to file for disability. I'm sorry, there's no such thing as disability, Social Security disability after your full retirement age. So if you're after your full retirement age, then yeah, unfortunately, no. But if you're 65, 66, depending on, when your full retirement age is, yeah, you can file for disability. Yeah. But you're losing your Medicaid. So if you have Medicare and Medicaid, that means you probably also have a Medicare Advantage dual plan. Those are the ones for people with Medicare and Medicaid. Those are, I usually recommend Medicare supplements, but if you have Medicare and Medicaid, then a dual plan is, yeah, very, very good. A lot of benefits. So if you're losing your Medicaid, you're probably also going to lose your Medicare Advantage dual plan. So give my team a call. 817. I'll put it in here, 888-817-0446. So call my Medicare team and they'll see what's available. In some states, even though you're losing Medicaid and therefore you'll lose your Medicare plan, it depends on the particular company in your state and a bunch of variables. They might keep your Medicare plan like a month or 3 months or 6 months or something. So if you do get to keep your Medicare Advantage dual plan, well, with any Medicare Advantage plan, the zero. All right, Medicare Advantage, there's zero premium plans. And you're saying, okay, wow, zero premium. How do they do all that? Well, where do they get the money for all the, the vision and the dental and all that kind of stuff? Is, these are insurance companies, they know how to make money. What it is when you sign up for a Medicare Advantage plan, whatever company it is, as soon as you sign up, you're enrolled in that company. And then that company goes to Washington and says, hey, John just signed up with our company. Give us, the money that he paid into Medicare for decades and decades and decades. So they give them a lot of variables on how much the company gets. But as long as you're signed up with that Medicare Advantage plan, that company gets money from Medicare that you paid into it. So everything in the Medicare Advantage plan, you're like, oh, zero premium, they're giving this for free. No, that's, nothing, you paid for it. So all that stuff that you paid for, if you sign up for a Medicare Advantage plan, then, and if they're offering free transportation or dental or vision or whatever, you've already paid for that. So go get it, go get that money, go get those benefits. So there's that. And then because you have a dual plan, those are usually lot more benefits bundled in there. And if it looks like you're going to be losing it here in a month or 2 months, and again, call my Medicare team and they'll tell you, when that's going to stop. Um, so, if that company is giving, $2,000 or $3,000 of dental, then call you as soon as you get off, the phone with my team, call your dentist and say, hey, I'm going to be losing, $2,000 or $3,000 of the dental stuff here in the next 2 months. Let's do some work. Right. So, because again, you've paid for it. All right. Da, 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 da. A video on auxiliary benefits associated with SSDI. Yeah, I did that. But again, I think I probably a bad title. I think the name of the title was Extra Benefits. Don't lose extra benefits with SSDI. Yeah, that's a problem with some of my videos. I need to work on the titles. But yeah, I'll definitely redo that one again and make it better. I'm going through my 200 videos and kind of making them all better and easier to understand and all the rest of it. So perfect. Yep, definitely. Me and my wife collect Social Security. We're both 67. Can we ask Social Security to pay my wife half of my Social Security because she makes less than what I get? Can we ask Social Security to pay my wife half? So yeah, if I mean if she's eligible for spouse benefits, yeah, I don't know if so she would have to file a spouse claim. So say for instance, I just talked about this in the video I just uploaded today on one of the strategies. If let's say you're 67, you're both your full retirement age, and you file, and then your spouse files on her own, so that's two retirement claims, and then you have to do a third claim to add the benefits if her benefit amount is less than half of yours. So there's three claims: retirement, and then a spouse on you. So if that wasn't done for whatever reason when you filed, then yeah, call Social Security, and if her benefit amount is less than half of yours, get their money. Barbara, you made a complete of needing to be disability for 2 years. I lost some of that. We'll be 66. Needing to be on disability. Oh yeah, that's for disability for 2 years. That's for getting Medicare. So if you're on disability for 2 years, yeah, we really need to get the word out there. Social Security employees are doing a bad job of explaining that. They just approve you for disability. Well, they approve you for disability, and you're so happy that you're going to get money. Everything else is you forget about. But and I'm sorry, Social Security is not telling people that. But yeah, I get a lot of people that send me messages and stuff. Says, yeah, I've been on disability and for 3 or 4 years, and I really need health insurance. I'm like, you do have health insurance? Oh no, I don't. And it's like, well, you should have health insurance for the last year or two. It says, well, I moved, and oh, you didn't get your cards, and yeah, go down there and get your So these people are going without health care because they didn't know they had Medicare. So that's why we need to get the words out there. A lot of people aren't collecting. Social Security is not doing a whole heck of a really, really good in educating people. They're doing good, but they don't have the budget. And all the YouTubers and TikTokers out there that call themselves Social Security experts, are doing. Yeah. So all right, I'll stop there. Yeah, they're also talking about removing that cap on Social Security at the 160,000. Yeah, that's I like that. There is no cap for Medicare, so that's my opinion, because a lot of the money that those people have, in the 70s and 60s, in the 40, 50, 60, 70s and 80s, that money used to be, among the rest of us, and that money would be paying into Social Security. But now that the money is, being redistributed up, that money is no longer accessible to Social Security taxes. So yes, working disabled will not lose their Medicaid. If you're, Medicaid is a needs-based, welfare-based program administered by the state. So yeah, if you're working and you're making too much money, yeah, they'll cut you off from Medicaid. Medicare, Medicare, yeah, yeah, Medicare is a whole different entity. Yeah. Um, the only way you lose your Medicare is if you lose your disability, but there's billion exceptions there. So, all right, let's see here. Someone asked me about student loans. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff about student loans out there. I've been a university professor for a few decades as well. All my students are taking midterms right now. But yeah, it's um, eh, a lot of the student loan forgiveness is not necessarily new. They're just pulling the trigger on um, ones that were, kind of the laws were passed previously. Like if you're working in public service and, for X amount of years and you've been paying your student loan every month, correctly for 5, 10 years or whatever like that, they can, you know, delete the rest of it. And yeah, so yeah, definitely a lot about student loans. Susan, have you done a video on the tax impacts of a lump sum back payments of Social Security or SSI? There are always ways to reduce the impact. Yeah, no, I stay away from tax type stuff. I've done like one or two ones on just basically the people here that Social Security taxes up to 85%, and people say, "Wow, 85% tax rate." If I'm making $1,000, I have to pay $850 in taxes. No, so I just did a clarification of that and said, no, that's not, it's just 85%. So if you make $1,000 from Social Security, they can only look at $850 of that. And if you're at a 10% tax rate, so your taxes will be $85, right? So you get 15% that is not taxable. So there's another guy that he's a retired IRS agent, and he does some videos too. But most of his stuff, he just helps people that have really large, debts to the IRS. He helps them negotiate that. So excellent show. Yeah, appreciate it. Appreciate it. All right, we're getting close to the end here. Spouse's student loan. Yeah, I'm Annie asks about spouse's student loan. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with spouse student loan. Again, there are some laws out there that have been around for a while that help you um, you know delete part of your student loan once you do it for a while. That's one of the things I hate about again, I've been a professor for a few decades, and I've sent a lot of students out into the world, and I think I've sent them out there more educated and better prepared. But unfortunately, the university that I work at is also sending them out there with a lot more student loan debt. So that's yeah, yeah. So all right, let's do one or two more last questions. Can I be penalized because we did not apply for deck at the time? A check. I took Social Security 2 years ago when I was told he was eligible. Nobody told me he had to apply for. Disabled adult child. Is that? Can I be penalized because we did not apply for disabled adult child at the time? I took Social Security 2 years ago when I was told he was eligible, but nobody told me he had to apply for disabled adult. Oh, okay. So you applied for retirement benefits. And when you do, they ask you if you have any children under the age of 18 or any children that were disabled before the age of 22. That's what they should have asked you. But if you did it on, online, well, they ask you that question online too. But yeah, um, yeah, if someone dropped the ball there and didn't tell you about that, I would definitely file and say, hey, um, and they will unarchive the claim, as they say. They will pull up the claim and look at it and see what was asked and what wasn't asked and everything like that. And regardless of the fact, I would do it. I would file a claim and say, hey, he was disabled before the age of 22, and I want to pursue it. And they can say, okay, yeah, go for it. And then tell them that you also want it backdated to, when you started receiving your benefits. So, isn't there some dental supplement that pays dentists directly? Um, yeah, I don't know about a supplement. Um, I've got, there's a company I like that does dental and vision, and I'll pop that in there. So if you're looking for supplemental dental or vision, just click on that one, and it's like super, super easy. It's kind of like Amazon, where you just click and say, I like this plan, I like this plan, and then you just, do a checkout, and you've got your dental and your vision. So yeah, check out that link. Um, should I sign up online or go to the office? Yeah, either way is fine. Um, um, or you can, call and schedule an appointment. Always schedule an appointment, and they can, you can do an in-office appointment, or they can call you at, whatever time you set up the appointment, and you can do it from the comfort of your home. All right, let's see here. All right, we're approaching an hour and 16 minutes or so. I started a little bit early, and so there's so many questions. All right, so yeah, make sure you share and subscribe. And if you got any friends or family, I'm doing these because I get so many questions so I'm just kind of popping up when I've got a few minutes here and there. I just pop up on a live. So if you see me pop up alive, it's me. And so if you've got any friends or family that have questions, make sure they subscribe, and that way they're notified. But I'm doing the regular Thursday 4 o'clock West Coast time as every week, as best as I can do on Thursdays. So if I can't make it, then I'll let you know. All right, y'all take care. Have a great weekend. Take care of each other. Have a beautiful day.